Good evening. I'm Steve Lentini. Welcome to The Best Getting Better. Every Thursday, reinforcement coaching and training. And it's live 99% of the time. There are also replays available, of which are not live. They seem live. You can send me emails and uh, coaching questions, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. But these Thursday events at 6 p.m. are live, and it's based on my 40 years experience. I'm a published author of Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start. It's recently been updated by Motivational Press, and it'll be available through Motivational Press and myself and Amazon, and as a Kindle and an ebook. And also I'll be reading it into a CD or MP3 file. I've been coaching and training salespeople for 40 years and in a lot of different varieties and variations. I've been a consultant. I've owned my own business. And lately, and what I've been doing most successfully is high-tech companies and healthcare equipment companies and service companies. They seem to be more open and the most open to training. And the people that aren't open to training, it either is a lack of education or an arrogance. And you may find that a little insulting, and that's too bad, because that's the truth. Is there an arrogance about learning? And so how do you grow if you're not willing to open up this? The mind is like a parachute. It's best to open. And so that's what I encourage people to do, is to keep changing, keep growing, and never make the journey an end in terms of learning. And remember, the buyer's always changing. Companies are changing. Look at what happened in our society in the last 15 or 20 years, the last 10 years. Look what happened to phones in the last 5 years. You can do things in your phone. You can film a whole movie now on a phone. And you couldn't do that 5 years ago, at least not very well. And things are changing, but humans want to hold on to the old and to the past. And it's not something you can do and grow. So what's going to happen is the buyer will pass you by if you're not continuing to learn and grow. So this evening, I'm going to give you some examples of that. And first, I'm going to continue with my commercial. So I also have a book, Sales Success for the Seasoned Sales Veteran, How to Stay at Peak Performance. I have a book called Sales Success for the Spiritual Salesperson, How to Sell Without Losing Your Soul. Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life. I'm working on a book called All in the Family. I spent 35 of my years in family businesses. You could say all 40, because I owned my own business for 7 years. That makes it 33. And I also own the license for Sandler Sales Institute for 6. So, that was a family business of mine, and certainly a lot of lessons that I learned. I'm also been working for 60 or 70 family businesses in different capacities. And most recently, the last few years, consulting family businesses. And there's a lot of dysfunction in families, which is fine, except that a lot of family business owners bring them into the business, and they expect the employees to enjoy that. And that's what corporations have over family businesses, is that the people expect in a corporation that employees and HR people will tell you, they leave the family drama out of work, leave your personal life out of work. And in family businesses, a lot of times they don't leave the personal aspect of their problems at work. I've been a victim of it myself. So I'm not coming from on high when I'm writing this book. I'm coming from actual experience, and I'm interviewing some people that own family businesses, and they'll share their advice. And so I'll share my stories, they'll share their stories and their advice. And it's a positive book. The idea is, here's the things to avoid, and here's what worked. And, take what you want. Hopefully you'll take the stories to heart of what didn't work, and then take the advice of what's working based on the experience of actual family business owners. Tonight we're going to talk about, each week I talk a little bit about how you show up as a person is affecting sales. And tonight I'm going to give you a few stories that just recently people shared with me. I love when people share stories with me. So I was with a person today who said to me, I had a horrible experience at a Verizon store. And I said, really, what happened? She said, well, I went in with the intention of buying an iPhone. And I felt so much pressure from this salesperson to do something different. And I felt like they were working to sell me something that would benefit them, meaning benefit their commission. So I said, so what, how did you feel and what happened? She said, well, I felt so much pressure that I went away. I pulled back and I started questioning my decision to even buy a phone at Verizon. And I said, okay, so did you say to the salesperson? Yeah, I said to the salesperson, listen, I got to think about it. I'm not sure what I want to do now. I said, what did the salesperson do? And she said, Steve, the salesperson continued to push. What else do you need to know? This is a good deal. That's commission breath, folks. That's what I call commission breath. And so she walked out of the store. I said, what'd you do? She said, I left. I left without a phone and I felt terrible. I wanted to get a phone. And I have the large Apple 6S, I guess it's called. She said, I pictured in my mind, I was walking in to get that and I didn't get it. Wow. Verizon, hello, you need my program. Get everybody on my program. It's crazy what you're doing. You're selling commission. Your people missed what she wanted. She was going to buy a phone. You lost the sale. She's going somewhere else. Wow. Verizon, if you're out there, give me a call, 917-805-1088, 917-805-1088. Or go to stevelentini.com, stevelentini.com. So I'm amused by it because this is what I've been teaching for years. Don't push. I've not pushed in certain situations. If you buy my book, you'll read about it, and have made $1 million sales. That's right, $1 million sales. So I'm not going to tell the story tonight. I've told it before in two separate instances, and a third just recently last year was $1.44 million. So there's no need to push. In fact, when you're helping people and you're asking questions about what they're looking for and you're truly mindful, you're present about the fit, you're going to sell, but you're going to close more deals. You're going to close more deals. So when you're not closing, by the way, people, when I work with them, they want me to do all the talking, all the closing. I just sit and listen because I want to be able to tell them what didn't work and what they could have done better. It's fascinating how many people are not open to it. And a lot of those industries are consolidating and shrinking. And there's going to be very few suppliers, large suppliers in those industries. And their jobs are going to go away and they're going to wonder what the hell happened. And I know what happened. They stopped growing. They stopped growing mentally. They stopped growing. They didn't know how to project an image in their mind and in their words. They don't understand how to manifest something in life. And they get where they are is what they get. So I know one guy who could not express what he could not see his own success. I heard it in his words, and he ended up out of sales, totally out of sales, and doing something non-related. So I understand the power of thought and the power of word because I've used this, and then I understand the power of not pushing. Now, are there some people that need a nudge? Yes, there are. There are different personality types. I can tell you which personality types you need to nudge, but that's not part of tonight's program. So tonight's program is about being mindful and understanding all the different little signals that you get from buyers and accommodating where they're coming from. So some people are influencers. They have no power to buy, but they're going to whisper in the boss's ear, hey, boss, this is good. I think we ought to do it. And here's why. Then there's users. So users are the people that actually use your product. Again, they're like an influencer. They could kill the deal by saying to the boss, I don't know, I don't like how it feels when I use it. So you need to be mindful of influencers and users. Then you have the person with the purse string. So this is the money buyer. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is the person with the wallet or the purse. So the lady that's got the budget, the guy that's got the budget, and the power to spend it. Could be a partner, by the way. Could be an owner. But it could also be just an economic buyer. Miller Hyman uses that term. So you have to be aware of, the influencers are going to be talked to by and ask the technical people, right? The influencers. They're going to ask the users, hey, what do you think? You're the one using it. What do you tell me? Then they're going to have the partner make a suggestion or a recommendation, and then this economic person with the purse strings, the person that can make the final decision, is going to say yes or no, but they're going to get a lot of feedback. They're going to get a lot of feedback. So you have to be aware of all these different personality types. And I'm just going to check my notes, right? So there's also coaches, right? So there's a coach that'll tell the buyer what they think, what they've seen. Maybe they do research and say, hey, by the way, I was talking to 3 other people that bought the product. Here's what they said. So if you're not mindful, and if you're coming in and talking all about your company and your product, you're pushing the person away. So that's what I call vomiting. You're vomiting on the person. You're going, you show up and you throw up. You're so enamored with your product that you can't wait to fill in everybody about how great it is. People don't care today. They want you to listen. They want you to be like a therapist or a consultant, or they even don't like that word consultative selling anymore. They just want you to be present. Can they trust you? How do they feel in your presence? There's an energy you're projecting when you're with someone. You ever been with someone and you're totally uncomfortable? I can think of those moments. I can think of those moments in my personal life and in my professional life. It doesn't feel good. And a lot of times they'll say, well, I don't feel comfortable with what you're suggesting to me. Or they'll use the words, I don't think I'm ready yet. That's something you missed. So if you're mindful, you'll say, okay, I think I missed something in this whole back and forth. Have I talked too much? What did I miss? I'm sorry. Talk to me. Show me can we go back? Let's go back. Let me go back in my notes and see where I missed it. So here's what you said so far. You said this, 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 and this is what you're looking for. Is there anything else? Would you like to add? Okay. Are you feeling better now? So if you're mindful, you're going to recognize it. Now, there's also shifts if you're mindful in people's body language. So if you notice people's body language, let's say you're presenting to a large group of people, and you have 1 or 2 people nodding off, you are not presenting to them. They're probably not needed at that part of the meeting, and you can dismiss them. You can stop and say, I'm sorry, Mary and Joe, obviously you're not part of this presentation. What is it that you're looking for? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that in a half hour. You mind if we call you and come back in a half an hour? Can you do that? They're going to say, yeah, great, thank you. Thank you for paying attention. Then if you have people that turn away from you, or all of a sudden they whisper something to someone else, or you need to be mindful of those things and don't be afraid to bring them in. I was at a big presentation. I'll give you an example where I was listening to the president of the company and my phone rang. And it took a second. I fumbled it. It was 3 rings. That's what it took me to get it to silence. And I shut it off. When it was my time to talk, I had a presentation. I said to the president of the company, okay, sir, turn your phone on. And it took him a second to get it, and then he laughed. And I said to everyone, look, the only way to be real and make a connection is to not ignore the faux pas we make. We're human. And so I made a mention of it. This is where I'm going to start with the vulnerability of this moment. That, I got the president of the company making a presentation before me to introduce me, and my phone goes off. It's okay. I'm human. Things happen. And you're going to have things happen in a sales presentation. You're going to have things happen when you're coaching people. And the key to it is acknowledge it. It's the same thing when you're presenting. If you feel a shift in the mood, if you're mindful and you're aware when you're doing your presentation or you're doing your questioning, you're back and forth, whenever you're in that sales room, if you're mindful, you will notice body language shifts. You'll notice people becoming uncomfortable. You notice maybe someone in the presentation is bored. You will notice and you will make friends. If you say, Joe, I'm sorry, I must be not hitting your hot button. What is it you want to see? Okay, great. I've got that coming in 20 minutes, in 40 minutes. Can you come back? Is that going to be good for you? Great. Now, you haven't said, I saw you falling asleep. You don't make the person wrong. You don't embarrass them. You don't even use the word you. You say, Joe, I'm missing the mark here somewhere. What is it you want to see? It's about what he wants to see, not about, Joe, you're falling asleep. No. But that's being mindful and not making it about you. And then to be aware of the energy you're projecting out at people, because we live in a universe, right? We are hurtling. A lot of people don't want to hear this. Get over it. We're hurtling through space, infinite space, right? Nobody even knows how to describe infinite. Infinite space at 65,000 miles an hour on a garden planet where everything required for life is here. So if you're in your head, you're missing all the tools that living in a universe gives you, which you don't have to believe any of it. You can still bring it into your, by being into your body, you get the benefit of all those tools, because it doesn't care what you call it. You can call it the divine, God, the universe, Harry, Eloise, Mary, Sam. It doesn't matter. It's a law. When you're projecting good energy, good things are going to come back to you. When you're in your body, you are going to get the cues of other people's energy. If someone's bored, if someone's disinterested, if someone's angry, whatever you're sensing. And the only way you can feel it is to breathe. Breathe and come back into your body and make it about all the people in the room. If it's one person or 10 people, make it about the people in the room. The other thing you do is pause. Or in the beginning, you come in even better and say, okay, who wants to see what in terms of my presentation? And go right around the room. Mary, Sam, you get to use everybody's name. Joe, Jim, what part are you looking for? Okay, Jim, that's later. That's in 45 minutes. Can we call you back? Harry, that's in 20 minutes. Can we call you back? Sam, that's at the end. Okay, because maybe that's the buyer, right? The economic buyer, the person with the purse string. You recognize and say, Sam, what are you looking for? I'm looking to get feedback from my people around the table today, and then I'm going to make the decision. Okay, can we bring you in at the end and you can ask everybody all the different questions that you have, and even of me? Yes, thank you very much. They're not going to want to hang around for the mumbo jumbo. They're not. It's not about you. It's about them. And the energy that you're projecting is the only thing you can control. You can only control you. You have to detach from outcomes and be there to help people. You are there to help them buy. And that's the new system. That's my system, the universal sales training, the Lentini training, whichever program you want, quality rated customer service, the complaint-free zone, how to productively complain, how to attract millennials. These are all programs I have. That's right. That's programs that I've developed. And so I'll give you all the different web pages at some point, as we're currently building some of them. But the millennial mindset is one. We're building that. There's a lot of work we have to do here, and it's a large training program and a large training company that we're growing every day, and I'm grateful. We have more people coming every day, more companies with questions. And so there are mature industries that I don't train and coach in anymore. So distribution, I don't coach and train in anymore. It just seems to be a lot of closed minds and a lot of people that aren't open to training. And the sales forces are 60, 65, 70 years old. They're going to be gone. They're not even going to be in the business in 5 or 10 years. And I don't say that with any malice toward anyone. I'm just telling you that it's an aging industry. It's a maturing industry. It's not even going to have outside salespeople in 8 years. It'll be mostly inside salespeople, younger people who are doing phone calling and maintenance, and that's it. And web, that's all it's going to be. Outside salespeople will be gone. But in the challenging industries where it really takes a skill to sell, in software, in high-end software, high-tech software, like I'm coaching a company that is genome mapping, and they're open to learning new things because they're communicating every day with a lot of different types, and there's massive committees that are buying their product, and so they really need to learn how to communicate and how to manage their energy, manage themselves. Business owners. Now, business owners can learn a lot from my program. I have a Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life program for people that are business owners, because the business owner's thinking and speaking will create their business, and their expectations of thinking toward their employees. And so people who are limited, we need to break their nutshell, because if they're limited, they're going to see their employees in a tight and small way. A small pot boils quickly, and they're going to gossip and talk about their employees and project a very negative energy, then they're going to wonder why things don't work and people don't work. They're going to say, oh, this one doesn't work well, and this one's no good, and that one doesn't work. But it's coming from their own thinking. They're creating that environment and that culture. So we have programs that can help business owners and salespeople create a whole new life by switching around what's in that little nutshell that I call the acorn. But it can become an oak tree. It can become an oak. So that's what I help people do. I help people break through their limitations. Okay, so a limitation is not understanding the energy you possess and walking in to work with salespeople, buyers, and or a buying committee and have these limited ideas that you're going to sell them. It's a limited idea. It's a tiny acorn instead of an oak tree where you walk in and go, let me understand the situation. Let me understand where everybody is. And maybe you've done the work ahead of time and you've gotten the information of who's the technical buyer, who's the influencing buyer, who's the coach, who's the user, who's the partner, and you coach all these people ahead of time. You talk to them ahead of time. Talk to me about where you see this change that your company needs to make. How much discussion have you had about change? The last time you changed, what was it like? What's scaring you about this? What do you see that would help you mostly, whether it was my company or anybody else? Have you talked to anybody else? What did you like? What didn't you like? In your mind, what's the best solution? Maybe you want me to hear mine. I'm okay with that. And maybe you have some ideas that we could say, yeah, we can do that if we don't now. So that's understanding where everybody is at. The economic buyer, what's your thought about the cost of this? What have you set aside for a budget? What if I said our program is going to be 40% more and we could pay that back with a 3-year return on investment? So have you limited yourself just to a number? So you're going to challenge them and make them uncomfortable a little bit because you can say, what if I say our program is 40% more? And we can get you an ROI and improved productivity that would more than pay you back within 3 years. What if I said that? Again, so there's all kind of facets to a sale. People want to learn one system today, but I mix things. So I teach a little bit of the Challenger sale. I teach a little bit of Jeffrey Fell's work, the Mastering the Complex Sale. I teach a little bit of the Miller-Heiman stuff, the Sandler stuff. I've been a licensee of Sandler, but I've read all these other books. And I'm the Cliff Notes, and I continue to read. Jeffrey Gitomer has a great little book on closing. Great little book. And I include some of his work from reading the material. And I'm just coaching people, and I encourage them to read the book, talk to them. I'm a person that thinks in terms of limitless possibilities, limitless doors opening, because I understand where I live. You know, I live in a universe. And I have a lot of fun with that, believing in the limitless and manifesting what it is I see for myself. And I picture it every day. So you could be picturing your big sale. You could not even knowing which one, where it's going to come from, but picturing yourself relating back and forth with all the different characters. See a big check written out, pay to the order of XYZ company. $500,000, $1,200,000. See the checks in your mind, and amazing what happens. You will see things come to fruition over time. Remember, not on your timetable, but on the bigger, larger picture timetable. Whatever you call it, on God's timetable, the universe, the divine, Harry, Eloise. I don't believe in any of this except I know we live in a universe. Okay, I get infinity. You could call it that. That's what it is about prospering. I put this sign up because I kind of like it. It said population 1,044. That may be the only number of people that are thinking in a prosperous way that are out there selling because they got such tight little minds. They got an acorn shell, right? You got an acorn shell thinking, hey, I'm complete. I got an acorn. I'm complete. Look at me. I'm an acorn. They have no idea what's possible because they won't crack it open. You ever hear the term, a small pot boils quickly? So small-minded thinking gets in your way. It makes you angry, frustrated, lack of surrender. You have no idea how to operate in the universe. You don't know how the laws work. And you're walking around always angry and frustrated and mad at your boss, the company, all the people around you, your spouse, all the clients that won't buy from you. It's not about you. You missed something. I've made a number of mistakes in my life. I'm not perfect. I'm not coming from that. I'm teaching what I've learned and what I'm learning. And I have coaches, and I continue to read and learn and grow because I think it's important. And so I coach from the idea that I'm teaching that which I need to learn the most. Every one of you that show up on my radar for coaching, I look at whatever it is you need work with, that tells me I need further work with it. And I look at it, talk to my coach about it, and talk to my coaches about it because I have more than one. Okay, so let's recap. Mindfulness. That's called breathing and coming back down into your body. And you breathe when other people are speaking. So if you feel yourself tensing in here and coming back up into your head, you breathe and be mindful. Help people buy. No commission breath. Don't push. People run away. I told you the story about the gal in the Verizon store. She ran away from the pressure. I'll tell you another quick story. Went to a large cleaning company with a prospect, with a client. And the person told the story of how great they were and all the people they had closed and all the sales they had made. And everybody was kind of looking around the table like, what's this guy talking about? Why is it all about him? So remember, mindfulness, and it's not about you, it's about everybody around the table, whether it's one person or 10 or 20. Next, you make it about them. So you make your energy positive. Before you go in, you breathe and you picture a positive sale. You picture yourself helping them. You picture yourself touching base with each of the buyers and understanding what their role is. Maybe that's the only shot you get to meet with everybody. A lot of companies say, no, we're going to have one meeting, March 1st. And that's your only shot. So then what you do is you start with that. Hello, I have a process. What I'd like to do, and you can tell me if you're comfortable with it, what I'd like to do is get to know each of your roles, what you're looking for, and what information you'd like from me. And that way I know where to start, like what's most important. So let's go over my questions if you don't mind if I start there. Now you're asking them what their role is. You go right around the table. You've made it about them. Then in the recap, right, here I am recapping, you separate the people that don't need to be there the whole time. Hey, this is going to take an hour and 45 minutes. I don't want to tie all of you up. Or this is going to take an hour. I don't want to tie all of you up. So Jack and Mary, based on what you told me, I can invite you in the last 10 minutes and it'll be plenty of time. Is it okay if we call you back in 50 minutes? And then Mary and Sue will call you back in a half hour. Is that okay? Great. See, now it's about them, and you focus now on the user and the technical buyer. Let's say that's how you do it, and they remain in the room. Again, you make it about the person at the table, right? Or persons, not about you. And when they're talking, you keep breathing and come back down into your body and be with people, really be with them. And notice the energy that happens in the room while they're talking. Are they, folding their arms and turning away? Are they whispering to someone? Did all of a sudden they jolt kind of a spine stiffener? Jack, I think I startled you. What happened? What did I say? What scared you? Maybe I scared you. What happened? I missed something, Mary. I noticed that I missed something, and I think I made you uncomfortable. She might have been the one nodding. If you're mindful, you're going to notice all these things, and don't be afraid of presenting I should say, presenting right to it. It's the elephant in the room. Everybody else is going to notice that, oh, Mary just got uncomfortable, or Mary she thinks this is boring. Let's get out of here. You bring it up. You bring up your biggest fear, and what happens is you can't lose what you don't have. You have no fear. You're detached from outcomes. That's what being in your body is. You're just there to help. Forget what the boss said that you got to close this. Refer him to me. He's a dummy. Yeah, he's a dummy. Quotas and you got to close this and what do you need to get this done? It just puts pressure on people that's no good. It doesn't work. Because then they take your pressure, the boss, and they put it on the client. And people sense it. It's not about you closing business. It's about you meeting enough people to help. And if you're meeting enough people to help, you'll close a lot of deals. I've closed $1 million deals, over $1 million deals, twice that I sent away. I said, you know what? I don't think we're a fit. And one said to me, hey, I don't think we're a fit. And I said, how do you know I'd sell you? Anyway, those are in my book. You got to read those stories. They're fascinating. They came back to me. 1, 2, or 3 weeks later, one more than a month later, they came back to me and we closed them. And then, like I said, recently last year, I had a $1.44 million sale, and it didn't look good in my mind. And I just kept working with the buyer about what he was uncomfortable about and gave him space to do it his way, and he recognized it. And he called me and said, hey, I got something uncomfortable to tell you, Steve. I said, what's that? He said, we want to give your company the sale. I was just a consultant. He said, we want to give your company the sale, but we don't like the salesperson. How do we do it? I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to work with you. If we work with you, we'll give you the business. I said, you can work with me. That's no problem. I'll work with you. The salesperson has to they have to get the commission. If you're comfortable with that, that's what I'll do. Great, Steve, that's what we'll do. It turned out to be $1.44 million in business. I know what I'm talking about. I've done this a long time, and I've seen people do stupid things and stick their head in a dark place. If you can picture that, it's called your butt. A lot of people have their head up their butt in sales, and or their head up their butt about personal growth. They don't feel they need anybody, so they're obnoxious idiots, and they have no idea that's what they're doing. And that's what they bring everywhere, whether it's coaching their people or running their business. They don't understand how they could grow even further and do even better if they were just more aware, self-aware, I call it. Self-aware, mindfulness and self-aware. Okay, so I always go over, I give people more, it's what I do. I'm Steve Lentini. I hope you got a lot out of tonight. You can call me about it. I have programs where I can coach you. There's a lot of different opportunities to buy time with me. Besides these 30 minutes, it's more expensive and it's worth it. It's an investment. So you invest in yourself and you change your life. I mean, most people would spend on their kitchen before they would invest in themselves because my kitchen, I improved the kitchen, the house will sell more. If you improve yourself, right, you make an investment in yourself, your income will go up every year for the rest of your life. So if you got 25 years of selling and it goes up $10,000 a year, you just made $25,000 on whatever you invested in my $250,000 on whatever you invested in my program. And I have people that their incomes have gone up higher than that. Their life satisfaction goes up. They're joyful. They're happy. They know how to project their energy into the world, and it comes back to them times 10. And there's some laws that you have to exercise if you're going to coach with me. And again, you call me 917-805-1088, 917-805-1088. Or you can email me, steve@stevelentini.com, STEVE at STEVELENTINI.com. I'm glad to help you. You can call me for free the first time around. You can even call me a second time. I never count the nickel or the minute because I give more. That's something I'm going to teach you about. Always be giving what you want to get. You want to give more. You want to get more, you give more. So go out and pay full price tomorrow for something, okay? You want people to buy your programs, get out there and give full price. But that's just a nugget, a small nugget of gold that I'm giving you about how this world works. It's cause and effect. And you're the cause of your life. You are the cause of your life. If it's not working, you need to change. If you don't like your experience of the world, change how the world is experiencing you. That's my quote. Now get out there and do it. I know you can. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you spending time with me. I love it. I enjoy it. It's my passion. Till next time. Catch the replay if you missed it.